Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video series, where we talk about practical strategies and tactics to help grow your business. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by Lauren Berry, Senior Product Marketing Manager from Brightcove. Brightcove, guys, is an absolute just powerhouse when it comes to video marketing and capabilities for your video campaigns. And I was super excited when I came across an article about 2 weeks ago on about Brightcove that was on martechtoday.com. And when I read about it, I was like, I got to get somebody from Brightcove to come on the show and talk about this new product that they've launched, a video campaign app that really lets marketers create, manage, and analyze their video campaigns all in one tool. Because I know as far as being a digital marketer myself and running campaigns for our clients, being able to provide insight and information and data based on your campaigns is really important. So Lauren, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, Lauren, tell me a little bit about how the idea of having an app, a video campaign app, how did that idea come about?
Great question. We actually did a program which is called Design Thinking last year, and we started about last fall. We did interviews with demand gen marketers and field marketers. It's probably about 12 or 13 different customers and prospects that we've had. So we went out and we had conversations with them, talking through the challenges that they face, common issues that they have in their day-to-day workflows, and sort of just seeing where we could optimize their usage of video within campaign creation. So we did 12 over the phone, and we actually did about 6 on-sites. And then after we did that, we had a 3-day workshop where we literally sat in a room, started to draw things out on Post-it notes and stick them to the wall and we created wireframes and profiles on sheets of paper and just sort of talked through the different challenges we were seeing from the customers and the ways that we might be able to solve it from an application standpoint. So it was a really fun exercise. I've been in product marketing for over 10 years and I've never done that before. And it was just really cool to sort of see something come from conversations we've had with similar people that are listening to this podcast, and sort of see that come from talking about their challenges and why they aren't using video as much, because it's hard for them to get it into their campaigns. It's hard for them to track it. It's another tool that they'd have to log into to actually a product that solves some of those challenges. So it was a really, really great experience.
Yeah, I mean the going through the exercise of leveraging design thinking and how trend. I don't know if trends is the right word, but I guess patterns to me is what kind of having worked with Florida State University and their innovation hub here in Tallahassee. And gone through a couple of design thinking workshops with them. And it's so funny when you talk about the sticky notes, and how when you've got all these colors that represent, sort of categories, and then you start to see things literally take shape, and you're like, oh my gosh, we didn't really think about collecting that feedback and how that really kind of shapes and forms and provides insight into the direction. The other thing that I think that's really interesting for those who are listening to the show, and when Lauren said, it was based on design thinking, I think it's important to say, because some people might think that you guys got out like Photoshop and designed something. And design thinking is not like that. It's more of a connection of a human behavior or a pattern that is in society, and looking at it from that standpoint, and then using information and input and creating a flow or a methodology, logical methodology based on that to design and problem solve. So that is so cool to hear that you guys implemented that to come up with a product. I mean, you guys work with some major brands. I mean, General Motors, Oracle, GoDaddy, Ford, the BBC, Planet Fitness. I mean, you guys have some big players. And I know that, on our show, we've got, brands that represent freelancers and or companies that are, just local mom and pop operations, all the way up to statewide organizations and even national brands that listen to the show. So I think the one thing, no matter who you are or how big or how small your company is, I feel like you could probably share with us, like, what are the three best, the absolute must-haves when you're thinking about a video campaign and putting it together? Again, what are the three core things that we should probably think about?
Yes, some of the top three things that I like to say from my perspective is that a strategy is key. Even if it's a simple video that you're looking to get out, making sure that you understand what the video is going to say, the goal of having that video created, and also sharing that with your team. It might be a team of two, but making sure that your team is also on board with the strategy that you're doing not only helps you sort of get the idea, flesh it out, get feedback on the idea, but also have their support when it's going out. I think the second piece, aside from the strategy, is understanding what channels you're going to have it go out to. So if it's going on your website or if it's going on separate social channels, you need to make sure that your video is optimized for it. So if it's on your website, make sure it's a little bit of a higher quality, higher resolution video so that it's not grainy when it's on your website. But if you're going to social channels, you need to especially if you're doing something like Twitter, you need to make sure that video is under 30 seconds because Twitter is that scroll type channel. And if it doesn't catch their eye and it's too long, people will just keep scrolling by it. Whereas Facebook and YouTube, you're able to have sort of a longer form video. Facebook, I believe, is about a minute and a half, and YouTube, I believe, is about 5 minutes that they recommend you optimize those videos for. And then the final thing that I would say, number three, would be even if you want to have it be a little bit more of a candid video or off-the-cuff video, understanding the talking points that you want to get across is important because, again, it sort of impacts that strategy. Make sure you're hitting the messaging points that you want to get out and make sure that you are getting across what you're trying to get from that video and making it as successful as you can.
Lauren, I love that. I couldn't agree more. I think you are absolutely correct that, really the three things are, number one, have a strategy. Number two, make sure your content format is appropriate for the platform. And number three is, to have an outline or have intentional direction, but be somewhere between, a script and off the cuff so that, you don't find yourself, oh gosh, I wish I would have covered this. That's the worst thing I think for you to have after you've done a video shoot is to have that, oh gosh moment of, I wish we would have covered that. I think that it is interesting too, that when you talk about the format piece, this is quite a bit of feedback that we get from clients who, are just like, Michael, we can't do video. It's too expensive, or it takes too long. We don't really know how it is. We don't really have an on-camera personality. I mean, all the different excuses that I've heard of why you can't do video. Like, I feel like, and maybe you can speak to this, like, how critically important, what are some of the data points that when video is used have such a dramatic impact on your campaign? I know you have some data points on that.
Yeah, so video is hugely important, and we hear that all the time from a Brightcove standpoint. I mean, we are an online video platform. When we go to industry events, we often get I don't have the budget to create all those videos. I can't hire an agency, or I don't have an in-house video team to get that executed. But in reality, there's so many different types of videos that you can create, and you can create them yourself. So there's a lot of really great tools out there. I have a counterpart on my team who is actually kind of a self-made or a he really likes to do video, and he started a little bit of a side company that he does it, but he used to walk around with his cell phone on a gimbal. So most cell phones that you have in people's hands have 4K video. So that's a great opportunity for you to just capture a moment or capture your CEO talking, or if you're trying to get a message out, just using a phone and your phone and a cheap microphone is an easy way to get video out. There are places where you need to spend a little bit more on video, but there's definitely the opportunity to have more of those candid videos. But like you were saying, video is sort of important. It is very important when it comes to creating your campaigns. And when we were building this product, obviously we were getting to know the market, or we know the market pretty good, but we wanted to get some real statistics and research. So we found that even just mentioning the fact that you have a video embedded in your email, it increases the subject line or increases the open rate by about 13%. And if you have videos that you have embedded in your website, increases organic traffic by 55%, which is amazing. And if you have, we've also seen that if you have videos on like a landing page, or you're promoting, we did a series last fall also that talks about video marketing masters, and having the videos on that landing page actually showed a conversion of about 80%. And especially one of the biggest pieces why we like to vouch for having video on a landing page is that search engines actually rank videos higher, and you can actually see about 157% increase in organic traffic from search engines just by having videos on your website, which is huge.
Yeah, I have to again agree with you 100% that we've seen just in making a video recording of these podcasts and putting them on YouTube, and then embedding them as part of our blog post on our own website. We've seen, unbelievable just the spike and the consistent increase in traffic. I want to say in 2019, probably the most popular video that people came to watch was what the heck is OTT and why should you care? And so I think that video is probably one of the, I know for sure it was the most watched video, because people are trying to understand, how can we leverage that OTT technology and be able to, have our ads show up when people are watching digital content and seeing that video play. And I think that leads us into the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, which was that very thing. Like, I've got this video, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, wherever, all the different channels that I've got out there. And as a brand, how in the world am I going to manage and analyze all of this data from all these places? Do I have to go get YouTube's insights and then look at my Facebook insights? Like, how can brands really do that effectively, and why is that important?
Yeah, data is probably one of my favorite topics to talk about when it comes to video, because video does provide data points that you would not be able to get from like words on a website or words on a white paper per se. Video allows you to, in the tracking of the video, you can see that Meredith has watched 2/3 of the video if you have that video connected to your marketing automation platform per se. So you know exactly what messages she has received from the video that you're doing. So you're even getting more of a warm introduction, because you can follow up with that third data point. Say she watched 2 out of the 3 data points that you wanted to get across in that video. You can reach out with a much more tailored response and a tailored message to her to sort of try and catch her eye, more than saying, hey, I saw that you downloaded my white paper. Did you like it? Instead, you can say, hey, I saw that you saw data point 1 and 2, but did you actually, what do you think about this third data point, or something similar to that? But data, depending on the video platform that you have, you can actually collect all of that data from a single platform. So with Brightcove, you have the ability to collect all of your social videos, the videos on your website, and see all of the statistics from a single standpoint. And that's one of the pillars that we built recent application based off of, because we saw that marketers were having to go into their marketing automation platform to see how many emails and click-throughs that they've had on their landing pages, and then they have to go to their Facebook page, like you were saying, and then their YouTube page, and collect those data points. And it's very time-consuming to get a holistic picture of how your campaign is doing. And then the biggest points that we found when we were talking to marketers was that they said, I get 1,000 views, 1,000 video views on the video that I have on my website, but it's that good. It's a product overview video. Should I be getting more? Am I am I ahead of the crowd with what I'm seeing? So having the ability to sort of benchmark against themselves was something that we heard on every single conversation that we had. I know from a marketer myself, or even personally, if I push something out that's focused on my wedding, or I have two very cute little nieces, those get higher engagements than whether it was something for like work related or something about my dog. So depending on the content and depending on what's going out, it has higher conversions and higher engagement. And that was something that we wanted to focus on when we were creating this application, because yes, if you have a product overview video, you're getting X amount, but how is that in comparison to other product overview videos that are in the industry, and how can I improve my videos moving forward? So the only way you can get that information is through data, and data is just hugely important and something that video can give you that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah, I think that there are definitely. I was just talking about this with my team yesterday in a meeting we had, and we were talking about how the last probably 6 decades of video content that has really been sort of the standard of video has been influenced heavily by linear TV and creative for linear TV. And the problem with I don't know if problem is the right word. I think maybe Achilles heel would be a better point here is, with a video campaign and having the ability to, distribute multiple pieces, most people would think of it as A/B testing, but the difference when you have a more robust and more strategic video campaign that you've broken down your marketing cohorts or your specific motivational points of your target audience, it's really more A to Z. So we literally for campaigns often have a dozen, 2 dozen, and at one point we had like 67 videos running at one time as part of a campaign, but people were broken up into, like you said, if Taylor responds to this very specific data point, create and have video content that specifically speaks to that, where she's not seeing, content around a data point that doesn't matter to her, right? And so when you have that linear TV, one single piece of creative, and you're trying to, reach all these different data points, you're really watering down your message, and you're really not able to leverage the kind of technology that a program like Brightcove Campaign would allow you to look at this data and go, okay, here are the 67 videos that we were running as part of our campaign, and what we recognized was the points in A, B, C, F, G, L, and Z. Those are really just skyrocketing. People are just absolutely going bonkers for that. And having that kind of insight and data, because you broke out your marketing messaging into very contextual, personalized content based on, the strategy that you did in the beginning, that really allows you to have a more meaningful campaign and can better inform you for future campaigns. And I think that as we continue as a society to move forward in a more personalized world, the way we consume media, like Lauren, I'm quite sure that your Pandora channel and my Pandora channel are totally different. And I bet that my Netflix channel of, recently watched videos and movies is different than yours. So leveraging that and understanding that in the context of the world we live in, and then having an application like Brightcove, campaign to be able to take that aggregate data and help inform your company or brand in how to make smart business decisions about your marketing efforts based on data and not just, the CEO's personal preference of whether he liked the video or not. That is so fundamentally different. And I am so excited that you guys have launched this product. And I think that a lot of brands are going to find value from a product like this. And any last thoughts that you have about just video and campaigns in general?
I guess only last point I was thinking of when you were sort of talking right then is that sort of understanding even what statistics you are getting, how you can optimize from there. So, for example, when we launched this product, we put our sizzle video out on a landing page that people can sign up to get more information. And we saw that the play rate of it is a little bit lower than the industry standard for that type of video, based on the benchmarks that we got from actually using the product, so drinking our own champagne there. But we saw the play rate, so people that were clicking play was lower than the average, but they completed the whole video. Almost, I believe it was like 96% completion rate for the video. So anyone that watched the video watched the entire thing, but the people that weren't clicking play on the video didn't get to it. So to me, that says the content of the video is compelling enough for people to watch the entire video, but I need to make people want to click it more. So can I change the thumbnail of that video? Can I change the text around the video? How can I get people to click that video? Because the people that are clicking that video sort of have watched the entire thing and have really gotten that full message. So I think when I wanted to make sure that when people listen to this and they say that you need to optimize your video, I don't mean you need to go and redo the entire video. You might just need to update your thumbnail of the video, update the text around it, maybe make the thumbnail more compelling and sort of put in what they're going to expect to see from that video. That doesn't mean you have to redo the entire thing. It just means there are different ways to optimize. And that's one of the cool features that's coming out soon, is that we will give the ability in that sort of advice based off of your play rate and your score from the product. So again, not only giving you the data, but giving you advice on how to make it better.
Love that. Lauren, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Kudos to your team and Brightcove for, again, just continuing to evolve your product and service offerings to meet the demands of brands when it comes to video marketing. Once again, thanks again for joining the show. And guys, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video series where we talk about digital marketing and tactics to help grow your business. I'm Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Tune in next time. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.